What's up, everybody? Welcome to Narco Cop MMA, and this is the Lambo Plays podcast, episode 96, UFC Vegas 92. I'm your host, Mike, along with my co-host, Timothy Troiano. Tim, 12 fight card. It's an Apex card. Yeah, I mean, I don't have many bets on this card, to be honest.
Me either.
I have a couple, but not many. A lot of WMMA fights this week. You kind of know how I feel about some of these fights. They're hard to cap for me, but somehow I got the two money lines on WMMA this week. It's brutal. I know I'm already waiting to complain on Sunday. Yeah. How do you feel of this card?
Yeah, I think this card is kind of trashy. I agree with you. I think two bets, but they're both props, and I think they're going to lose, to be honest. But they're just like really wide lines. Yeah, I just think this is kind of a tough card. You get a bunch of guys that are kind of unreliable, and then, like you said, you have four women's MMA fights that are just kind of mid-level at best. So yeah, I don't really have too much confidence this week.
Very good card last week. Hit a lot of Lambos. I hit two myself only. You hit the rest. But the Lewis KO3 plus 1,500 was nice. The Buckley decision was very nice. That cashed a big number. I missed that Hooper KO too, man. Plus 3,300. That was pain.
It's funny because Keith Peterson fucked us on that, but helped us on the Buckley decision.
Yeah,
right?
but I'd rather have that one, dude.
A million times over.
I
Yes,
mean, 33-1. We got
Absolutely.
robbed of it, man. We literally got robbed of it. And then my Lambo parlay, I hit two legs, and fucking what's his name doesn't come through in round 2 or 3. It is what it is. You know, what can we do? 103 of you in here. Thank you very much. Let me go over to my chat. Shout out my chat. Dixon Sider says, mirror, mirror on the wall. Narco and Tip got Lambos for us all. Elijah, what is up, Matt? I forgot to play the Lewis KO 123. What is up, Mushroom? There will be blood. So late start. Yeah, late start a little bit here for today. I had to do a couple of things. Jackie Blaine, what's up, everybody? Didn't 15X last week, but oh well. Killer card here. Let's cash those tickets. Let's go, my man. 2X Danny, what is up, my man? I hope Tim had enough lotion for that Ricci fight. Yeah, he stocks up on that stuff every week, you know, on Fridays prior to the fight card. This week, there's 4 women's fights, man. I mean, he's going to go through a lot of lotion here for this card. Happy Friday, Frank Espinoza. What is up, my man? Thank you for joining. Kristen, what is up? Let's piss these bookies off. You're damn right. Matt, how are you doing, my friend? Nick Juarez, patiently waiting for the whisper bet. Man, the whisper bet was freaking there. It was Chase Hooper round 2 KO, and my goodness. Threw an instant like on a video. Thank you, William Tyner. Appreciate you. Gamblestein, what is up? Daz, Files in the house. Beaver Covington, hurry the F up, he says. Ice Viking. Tim was busy at the gas pump. Oh, boy. I know what he's referring to, too. Joshua, what is up, my man? Let's go. Who else do we have here? Arturo, bonjour, man. Fresh Gambles, what's up, my man? Evelyn Stone, happy Friday. Let's go. St. Stephen, what's up, my man? Thank you for joining. Timothy Johnson, what's up, my man? Also, Traps, Elijah Rourke, let's cash those tickets. Yes, sir, let's cash them. Azure Blue, what is up? Good evening, my man. Looking forward to 302. Me, yeah, I am as well. Steverson, what is up? Hallelujah. Thank you, boys, for the Buckley decision. Glenn Bott, what is up? Eric Betts Fight, what's up, my man? Thank you for joining. With that being said, Tim, let's start it off. First fight of the night. It is in the strawweight division. It is a 13-8 Emily Ducati versus the 10-5 Vanessa Demopoulos, and I will start this one off here. I'm gonna just go right off the bat, Tim. No slowing down. No doing anything, and give them my whisper bet of the week. And the whisper bet of the week this week is Emily Ducati by knockout, round 2 and round 3. Currently, you can get 2,200 on Bet Rivers on round 2 and 2,500 on KO3 on DraftKings. I gave it out earlier, yesterday. 2,300, 2,900. I honestly think Demopoulos is going to get KO'd here, man. You seen it was so weird in the face-offs. They shook hands, and then Demopoulos went to like hug her, and the other girl's like, I don't want to hug you. Like, I want to like knock you out. I guess they've trained before. I was listening to Demopoulos talk about how they trained before. This is probably the best striker that Demopoulos has faced. She hits hard. She has good calf kicks. Demopoulos is a punching bag. KK almost got her out of there. It's happening, man. It's bound to happen. She's a punching bag on her feet. And Emily Ducati's got good takedown defense. I don't think she's going to get taken down. She's going to piece this girl up and stop her in round 2 or 3 here. Whisper bet of the week, KO 2-3 on Emily Ducati. Tim, what do you got?
Same, brother. Same. I do think that, honestly, I do think it's going to be pain. That we could be like looking at somebody getting pieced up and just be like, stop the fight, throw in the towel, and then it's a decision. Kind of lean that way, but the numbers are too good to pass up when you were over 20 to 1 on both of them. Like you said, I think that this striking acumen for Ducati, as well as like her leg kicks, like I think that she could like even get a leg kick KO here. Like I think she could calf kick her and then just break her down. And I mean, the Demopoulos has like T-Rex arms, so like it's so hard for her to get into range without taking punches to get into range. She doesn't really. She tries to get into range with huge, wide winging shots to then try to get takedowns. I like you said, I think the physicality edge is here on Ducati as well. To me, I just feel like I think there's like been 2 decisions that Demopoulos just completely ass pulled and won just because she's a stripper. Pretty much it. Just the hot factor. Ricci got it last week. So yeah, I think that this is going to be a fight where I lean decision for Ducati, and I do feel like there's going to potentially be some pain for us tomorrow. But I'm with you. The Lambo plays for sure are KO2 and KO3.
All right, we will move on. Fight number 2. It is in a bantamweight division. It is the 16-9-2 Alateng Haley versus the 8-3 Clayton Rodriguez. Tim, this one's yours.
So before I get into the whisper, I will say that I do feel that this is a Clayton decision at a pretty high clip. It's similar to the last fight, though. I think that the lines for the Lambo plays on this one are kind of stupid. Alateng Haley will, in a lot of the fights, like that he's losing the striking, which is a majority of his fights, does go to grappling and does go for takedowns. And against some like just weaker grapplers, he just kind of lays and prays and doesn't do very much, and just really just doesn't like I said, just kind of wastes time and tries to control guys. And I think that the volume edge here for Clayton on the feet, the athleticism, the quickness, just the striking acumen in general is just much better. I feel like he's going to win on the feet at a very high clip. I feel like the decision is too low, but I think, like I said, I think it's like 65% that he's going to win a decision in this fight unanimously. So I will go on a whisper here. If Haley does grapple, you get, Clayton's been training with Dubronx and shoot a box guys like recently. So my whisper bet is Clayton by sub is 14 to 1. And sub 2, sub 3, 43 to 1, and 50 to 1. So I think that it happens later. I think that it happens if Haley realizes that he's not winning on the feet, and so give me those. I think, but I do lean points, but I do think that those are good stabs.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at it, to be honest. I looked at it as a sub, but I have to give my buddy here, Brandon Olivas, I text him. I'm like, or I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, how is Haley's, sub defense? Because this line seems crazy at 14 to 1. He basically said he's like impossible to sub. Like a guy will not tap. You know, he's just tough. And you could see, like, in round 3 against, what's his face? He got into a very, very deep guillotine. He just wouldn't tap. He got out of it against Gustavo Lopez in round 3. And if I'm not mistaken, he was hurt in that round as well. So he almost got submitted there, but man, he wouldn't tap. And it was very, very deep. And honestly, Gustavo Lopez, I kind of looked, he's like known for a very good guillotine too. So yeah, Clayton, he's more athletic. He can definitely, you know, in one of these scrambles, maybe take the back. But with that information, I kind of said, okay, I'm not going to touch it. However, you know, Clayton at 135, I don't like. He looked fine at face-offs for his second fight, but still, this guy is probably supposed to be at 25. UFC kind of told him, you can't make weight. You're not going to fight at 25 anymore. So that's the problem. I kind of think Haley has a little bit better cardio here. The output should be coming from Clayton early, especially. But, I mean, there's not much I love here. Haley by decision, plus 325. I mean, I don't think he can finish Clayton. And I think if it hits the scorecards, honestly, it'll be close. Because Clayton is not going to pull away, man. He just doesn't fight smart. He doesn't fight smart at all. I don't like his... I was very high on this guy coming out of Dana White's Contender Series. His IQ is no good. He was doing well against Bashrat. Decides to try to take the back like so fast. Instead of taking your time, he rushed it, fell off, and got finished. Like, literally one mistake changed the whole fight. He went from taking the back to falling off to getting finished, you know? And his fight IQ is just over and over again. I don't like it. I don't think that changes with the, you know, going up in weight. So, yeah. I mean, Haley decision, not the biggest confidence, but it's kind of a fight I want to stay away from, to be honest. Fight number 3, it is in the strawweight division. It is the 9-1 Piero Rodriguez versus the 14-3 Ariane Carnalosi. Another one that's kind of hard to find a very good prop here. I think Piera has the better cardio. Carnalosi with all that muscle gases. Piera should be able to land takedowns. And when you look at Piera, she has late round finishes, a bunch, all of her finishes. Every single one of her finishes is 2 and beyond. So that kind of tells me like she breaks people, you know. A couple of them are from ground and pound, you know. I do think Carnalosi is going to be hard to break, especially after watching Godonez put her through the ringer. But I'm just going to take a stab on round 3 for Rodriguez. No round 2. I don't think it's round 2. It's 1,600 on FanDuel. A little pop there, you know, nothing that I'm very confident about, but I think she has better cardio. I think she has huge grappling edge, wrestling wise. So plus 1,600 round 3, Piero Rodriguez.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the round props as well, but I also think that like we've never seen this from Piera because she doesn't have any subs in her career yet. But I'm really interested to see if she has an arm triangle. Like that to me is like an obvious play. Like Lupi. I mean, I thought the Lupi fight could have been stopped a couple times. She was beating the living shit out of her, and she had positions where I think it could have been stopped. But I just feel like the arm triangle with Lupi, she didn't really know how to put that on her, and it was there all fight. I mean, like all fight. She had side control. She had just like she was in a position where I just also feel like the body type of Carnalosi is like one of those that you can actually get that on her. So for me, I like you said, I like the round props just in general. I think that'd be a safer way to play at 10-1 and 16-1. But the sub 2 and sub 3 are 28-1 and 39-1. I do feel like it's possible that she could get her first sub against Carnelosi. There's something about it that I just think that it's, it's 850 on sub alone, but I'm with you. I think it would probably be later in the fight. I think that Carnelosi would probably put up a good fight in the first round. A lot of people are talking this week that Pierre's got poor cardio, and I just think, I'm not saying that that it's incorrect, but it's tough to like justify that when all of her finishes are in 2 and 3. Like I'm not saying that she doesn't gas a little bit, but she seems to be a functional gasser. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know what to make of it. Her cardio, honestly, she's looked fine in some fights that have extended, like really good. And then some fights she kind of looked iffy. I don't know if it's adrenaline dumping or what the case may be. I don't think her cardio is bad, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think someone with a huge upper body like Carnelosi is probably the one that's going to, death gas here over Pierre, especially when there's involved a lot of grappling.
And she's coming off of 2 like surgeries too, right? Like
both girls.
Are they?
Pierre had a knee surgery as well. But Carnelosi, I think, was a knee and something else, shoulder.
Maybe okay, I thought it might have been her back, but okay, yeah.
It might have been back. It was 2 surgeries for sure. But yeah, we'll move on. Fight number 4. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 25-6-1 Abus Magomedov versus the 14-7 Warley Alves, and this one's yours, Tim.
How the mighty have fallen. Man, Abus going from a main event against a future champion and Sean Strickland 5-rounder to the 4th fight on the prelims in an Apex card. So, yeah, I mean, to me, don't get me wrong, I feel like Abus, it has his red flags. I mean, like I'm not parlaying him up. I'm not like taking the money line in any capacity whatsoever. But I think that this is a get right spot for him. Warley doesn't seem to be in the right weight class. Another one of those guys that just seems like just kind of lazy and not willing to put in the work to get down to the weight that he's supposed to be at. He got jabbed and knocked out by Ikram last fight. That's a really bad look. To me, I just feel like this is Abus KO1, KO2. KO1's plus 240. KO2 is plus 700. I hope it gets to round 2, but I don't think it does, to be honest.
Man, I was going back and forth on this, and I wrote KO1, but then I said no. I said to myself no because, I don't like that this guy's at 85, Warley Alves, but I also don't think he's very easy to knock out, to be honest. Like, fucking, what's his name, landed some big shots on him in round 1, man. And that guy can knock out a truck, to be honest. Jeremiah Wells. And then, you watch him in the Ikram fight. Obviously, he got finished with a flying knee and stuff. But I don't, like, even if you look, like, James Krause finished him with a knee as well. And that's it, Outside of those 3, he hasn't really been knocked out. So I know Abus has power early, but if he can just, not get knocked out early, I think this fight probably extends, to be honest. Both guys kind of don't have good gas tanks. I do think Magomedov wins round 1 at a very high clip, probably round 2 as well. He looked against Caio, his cardio looked fine for 2 rounds, honestly. And then round 3, it just fell off a cliff, dude. It looked horrible. So I'm taking a shot on Magomedov decision, man. Plus 510. And I think part of it is I think both guys are gassy. So if this fight extends, it could be one of those where there's not a lot happening. And based off Magomedov winning early, I think he can win the first 7.5, 8 minutes. I don't think Warley can like really put it on him late anyways. So yeah, I mean Magomedov decision plus 510. It's just something that the obvious is obviously KO1, but I don't know if it's going to happen, honestly. Let's move on. Fight number 5. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 7-2 Tamaris Vidal versus the 8-2-2 Melissa Gado. And this is another WMMA fight. Gado moving up to bantamweight. I don't know. She sized up well. She's actually taller at face-offs. But I don't really, I know she fought at 35 before, but I don't really know why she's moving back up there. I mean, she's kind of like, maybe she has a hard time cutting to 25. I don't know. I really don't know. But what I do know, Tim, and it's a known fact for me, is that fucking Vidal has no cardio. Zero shit. And she's trying to blast you out of there early, or she's going to death gas. And if Montserrat Rendon had any type of finishing ability, she probably could have finished that fight, but she can't. She has no finishing ability. I do think that Gado has finishing ability here. Round 2, round 3 is disgusting. I would not play that on WMMA. What I'm going to play is KO 2-3, Tim. That's the one that caught my eye. 2,200, 3,000. Gado throws good ground and pound when she's on top of you. You know, she could throw those nasty elbows. I do think she can get takedowns late here. She does have finishes in round 2 and 3. Yeah, I mean, it's probably maybe sub that she gets her. But honestly, it could be KO, man. Because Vidal, if she's death gas and this girl's in mount just drilling her with elbows, she just might not do anything and get fucking elbowed to hell. So 2,200 and 3,000 here. I don't think it happens early because Vidal is kind of like hard to deal with early. But yeah, but those round 2, round 3, man, don't play those. Those are shit odds for WMMA. Horrible. 550, 650, what the fuck is that? Round 3? No, I mean, I'd rather just take a shot on KO, and that's it, honestly. I'm not willing to kind of push my betting stuff with those kind of odds. Like, these books are brutal now with these late round props. So I think it could happen kind of 50-50, KO and sub, and we're getting way better price on KO. What do you have here, Sam?
Yeah, the same breakdown. I mean, I do. The only red flag for me is what you already said with Gado moving up weight. I mean, she wasn't. I mean, at 125, she's a lot bigger and a lot stronger than a lot of the fighters that she fights against. So, I mean, but I just don't think that Vidal is anything to worry about when it comes to physicality, takedown defense, wrestling, grappling at all. Yeah, I'm completely with you. The 2-3, I mean, plus 500, plus 850, like you said, are terrible. But I do agree with you. 22 and 30 to 1 on the KO. It could be either one. I don't agree that it's 50-50. I kind of think it's like 65-35 for the sub. I really do feel like it's usually what she goes for, but I don't disagree that it could easily be a position where she either gets to mount or she flattens her out on her back and just starts raining punches, and she just doesn't defend it in 2 or 3. I totally agree with Rendon as well. Like, she's totally ass, and her finishing potential is just not there at all. And even she was even connecting on the feet in that fight, and she like is stuck in mud when she strikes. So I just feel like it could even be a situation where she is piecing her up on the feet, and you can get it there too. So like, I just feel like the ground is a much more likely path for her to get the finish in round 2 or 3, but I wouldn't like put it past her to be able to fucking mess her up on the feet and, you know, still get her.
She could punch her in the boob and it might be over. I mean, that fight should have been stopped, honestly, against Rendon.
Yeah, dude, it was, I mean, it's terrible.
She turned around and stopped, and the referee gave her time. Like, what is going on here?
For
Is
a
that
boob?
an illegal punch?
Yeah, no. You can punch the boob.
Yeah, it
I
was
think-
weird. Let's move on. This cough is annoying as shit. Fight number 6. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 9-0 Omar Say versus the 10-3 Tokos. Tim, this one doesn't have much outside of Bet Online. So, what do you have here?
Full transparency, I was only able to tape one fight on Tokos. I was able to tape side normally, but I don't want to kind of go too confident in on this take. But I mean, it seems to me like if Sai doesn't finish in round 1, he typically goes to decision with guys. I think it's possible he could get the finish in round 1. The only thing that I would go against that thought would be that Tokos is on 3 days notice. So obviously he could be not trained for this fight, not prepared, and gas out in rounds 2 or 3. To me, I feel like the athleticism and strength of Sai will be able to get him to get takedowns in this fight and just wrestle. When he does get guys down, he is active on the ground. He doesn't just lay and pray. He does go for ground and pound. He does go for try to get back takes and shit like that. But he's not super sophisticated on his jiu-jitsu to advance positions and go for subs. It's usually rear naked chokes and shit. So to me, I like you said, there's not a lot on the props right now, except for on Bet Online. So we were talking about it earlier, but I'll take the round 3 or the points. I actually kind of lean the points for Sai plus 425. I think that if he doesn't get him out of there in round 1, I think he just wins a decision unless there's a complete death gas on the Tokos side.
Yeah, I kind of feel like there's going to be a complete death gas, to be honest. The lines suck for 2-3 on Sai because they're 350 and 500 on Bet Online. But he does go for subs. I don't know, sub 2-3 maybe, depending on what they give us on domestics. I wouldn't play it at this price anyways. It's 1,100 and 1,500. Fuck that. I want something bigger in the 2,000s, 20-1. And then I take a shot on Omar Sai by submission. He does have 3 rear naked chokes, so he goes for them. And he's going to grapple. I'm almost certain he's going to get the fight to the ground. Super athletic, super fast for the weight class. Guy, Tokos, I don't think he's UFC level, to be honest. And, here he is on late notice. He fought in Road to UFC, got absolutely murdered in that fight. But yeah, I don't think this guy is UFC level. He's a decent fighter, but he got a late minute call up, so props to him for making weight too. He made weight, right? Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
All right, fight number 7. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 6-1 Tom Nolan versus the 13-5 Victor the Brick Martinez. Fuck, man. Believe it or not, I'm going against everybody here. I think I'm going Nolan decision plus 650, man. I know he can get him out of there. I know he can, knock out the Brick, possibly. Everybody's on this sub. I keep seeing sub for Nolan. I don't know, man. Martinez, he got his black belt from CDF, I think a year, 2 years ago. I don't think he's a slouch. He knows how to defend fucking submissions. And I think Nolan's more opportunistic than anything. I don't think he's, a guy. He likes ground and pound. He does not really shoot. I think if this fight gets to the ground, honestly, it's Martinez shooting, but he doesn't even shoot himself. He's a boxer. So I don't know. I don't like the submission, to be honest. I'm going to go with decision, man. Nolan. Plus 650. I think the knee last time was kind of memeish, to be honest, from Jordan Levitt. I think Martinez is a tough guy. I don't think he's easy to get out of there, to be honest. Yeah, Nolan could get him out of there. I'm not saying, but it's not going to be easy. I don't think so, at least. And Nolan, he's gone to decision. He's gone later in fights. I think the brick is not going to be easy to get out of there. And you have one more narrative. CDF just won last week. Big upset. I'm just saying. All right, Tim, what do you got?
I'm one of those squares on the Nolan by sub, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's I don't know the fight. And this was many years ago with Martinez, like just getting subbed by a dude that was like 2-6 to the sub in his career, and then he got subbed by Flores, who's a better grappler. But I just feel like I don't know. I don't know that the black belt is legit or not. I think most people you're saying it is, but I mean, like I don't know. I just think that. And I'm not. I don't think that Nolan's like grappling is that great. So I would lean KO in 1 or KO in 2 for him, but they're just like god awful lines. Like it's like plus 150 and plus 450. I mean that would be my prediction. So I should.
Yeah, I hear you, but the thing is, he got subbed fucking like almost 10 years ago, man. Like,
no, correct.
And he's for sure leveled up his grappling. And Gleitson Cutis, who is I think he's like a 3-stripe black belt. He's a good black belt. He couldn't get him out of there, man. So what the hell's wrong with my camera? It's going crazy. But yeah, maybe he can't, maybe club and sub, he's got long arms. Maybe club and sub.
Yeah, I mean, honest, like I'm saying, like I think it's like a lot of these plays on this card, which is what we were talking about to start the show. Like, I don't think that I think it's really tough this week because I'm looking at the bets and I'm like, my prediction is this, and it's just not lined in a position where we can give it off as a Lambo, and then we give a bet that I think is actually most likely going to lose. So it's like the plus. I mean, really, my prediction would be KO 1, KO 2 for him. I think that's much more likely. I don't disagree that he can go to decision, but I just think this guy usually goes fucking balls to the wall and goes full rabies a lot of the time. And, watching Jordan Levitt get a position, like just being able to knee the living shit out of him in the clinch to me is just like, all right. It's definitely.
The one thing he did say, Nolan, in his interview is he kind of said he was too loose in his first fight. Kind of like didn't give a shit kind of attitude. And he got knocked out. And he said coming into the second fight, he's going to be a little more cautious, kind of basically said, if it goes 3 rounds, it goes 3 rounds, but I'm going to try to get him out of there, but I'm not going to rush anything, blah, 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 something like that. Where
yeah, I think I like that for your decision prop for sure. But it's like, I mean, I think
he still could get him out of there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's to me, I feel like it's, some of these guys say that shit, and then when they get in there, they just go balls to the wall. I totally agree with you that he was massively overconfident against Mota and gave him his only win condition. So yeah, I mean, like, but yeah, that's sometimes these guys overcorrect, like you're saying.
All right, let's move on. Fight number 8. It is in the strawweight division. It is the 16-13 Angela Hill versus the 11-2 Luana Pinheiro. This one's yours, Tim.
Going back to the well, this is this seems like it could be very splittish, but all right. So for me, I feel like it could be extremely splittish, but the lines on those are terrible. I think it's round 1. I think if you're on Hill money line at minus 140, you haven't watched her fights very much. Like, she typically starts off slower, gets her rhythm, gets her reads, and then starts fighting much better in the second and third rounds in a lot of fights. She's gone to split a bunch of times and lost a lot of split decisions. Pinheiro clearly is front-loaded in fights. I think that she could have striking success early as well as grappling success early if they clinch, which is where Hill does a lot of her damage in the clinch. I feel like there's potential for Pinheiro to get her game off and to be able to take her down or judo throw her or just get on top. I feel like Pinheiro wins round 1 at a high clip. I think Hill wins round 3 at a high clip. 2 is going to be kind of greasy. All this being said, like, it's almost impossible not to take shots on KO2, KO3 for Hill, especially KO3, having just cashed on Ribas by KO3. And, it's like just impossible for me not to take stabs at those. So I do think that like I said, I do think that the split decision is probably much, much, much more likely. I didn't even look at the line. It's probably plus 250, something fucking stupid. So if you wanted to take a shot on either fighter by split, good luck. I do think it's probably what happens in this fight, but KO2 is plus 2,600. KO3 is plus 30, plus 3,000. Got to run it back. I mean, we cashed a plus fucking 4,400 on Ribas last time against this chick. She seems to gas really, really hard. And Carnal, Hill got a doctor stoppage on Carnelosi in round 3. It's not like she can't, put it on her and actually put some volume on her to finish her. So,
yeah, listen, Hill has put it on a lot of girls in round 3. Not just, I'm not talking about finishing, but she's put it on a lot of girls in round 3. She comes on later in the fight. She has very good cardio. And one thing that stuck out is I didn't think Angela Hill was going to be taller of the two when they were at face-offs, and she was. I wouldn't play, honestly, KO, because her round 3 is 2,500, Tim. It's 500.
Yeah,
I don't think it's worth it, honestly. I don't think it's worth it. So I'm not playing round 2. I don't think Hill, she's not like much of a finisher, honestly. I think if it's going to get finished, it's what's her name? Tethgast again. And still it took like a head kick, honestly, to finish it. But I think Hill in the clinch can do work with some knees to the body. That will definitely slow Pinheiro down. But she can also get judo tossed there, which is a little bit of a concern. But round 3, 2,500, Angela Hill. I'm going back to the well.
Yeah. What's round 2? Just curious. 16-1, something like that?
I think there's 21-1.
Yeah, I'll switch mine to 12. That's not worth it. I agree. Not for
21-1.
Yeah, I think it's not worth it for me. I do think that it happens in round 3 way more than round 2, but as we always talk about, it's probably better to just put a little sprinkle on both. But yeah, I'd rather do that than KO 2-3. But I do agree with you. I do think that KO is way, way, way more likely than the sub, but it's not worth it.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Fight number 9. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 16-5 Adrian Yanez versus the 14-6 Vinicius Salvador. Man, this is another one I went back and forth because I do think there's some lines that are off in this one. First off, and this has to be said, Salvador KO1 is off, in my opinion, 1,600. Because Yanez, in every fucking round 1, stands and gets fucking nailed. He's got bad defense, man. For a boxer, the guy just eats shots on his face, man. And it's not, he's got a good chin, but we've seen lately his chin against Font didn't hold up, right? He got countered and knocked out. Salvador is a former 25er, but I think this move is good for him, honestly. This is a good move for him at 35. He's a huge fucking 20. Did you see him face off against Yanez? He was way bigger than Yanez at 35. So I think KO1 is live for Salvador because Yanez just puts himself in the fire early. And it's 16-1. You have to play it, in my opinion. The other thing I do like is I think this fight might actually hit the scorecards, to be honest. I think both guys are pretty durable. I also think that Salvador, like I said, 35 is good for him. He's probably going to show an even better chin at 35. Plus 320 on the Yanez decision. I do think he's the much better technical striker. I think he's going to land at will here. I think he has better cardio. Well, cardio, I'm kind of like not sure just because maybe the 25 was just zapping this guy, this Salvador guy. But from what I've seen on tape, Giannis has better cardio. So Giannis' decision plus 320. I'm hoping Salvador either knocks him out early or survives. What do you have here, Tim?
Yeah, I've been going back and forth and fucking over and over and over on this one between Giannis by decision and Giannis late round props. Like you said, I mean, Giannis in round one, I partially think that it's like he's a counter striker that takes too long to get his reads and then like takes shots to get his reads on guys and then does better in rounds 2 and 3 when he finds his reads. I mean, that's kind of my take on him. I don't think that he's going out into a fight with like in the first round and just like going aggressive and trying to like, I know what this guy's doing. I've seen it on the tape. I think it takes him like a little bit of time to actually get the timing, get the rhythm, get the reads on guys. And then he starts to pick up his countering. And I just feel like I eventually went to round 2, round 3 for Yanez. And I think that it's possible that he could counter him, but I am super not confident in this fight. Like I do feel like it is possible that he could. Yeah, I don't know kind of like how Salvador is going to fight. I really feel like Salvador is there also to be hit. And I feel like it's possible that he could walk right into a counter in this fight. So I'll take round 2, round 3 for Yanez and pray that it hits.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. Let's move on. Fight number 10. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 10-4 Ramiz Brahima versus the 12-4 Themba Gimbo. Tim, this one's yours.
So, I mean, I don't know what version of Ramiz we're going to get in this fight. Dude's come off of some serious injuries. He's been on a huge layoff where he's been doing physical therapy to get himself back. And, you know, he's also a guy that's like never won a fight that's gotten out of round 1. This is another one of those fights where if you're on Themba, seems like a much better live bet at 2-1 or better after round 1. I think that the grappling edge for Ramiz is legit early. But I think that as the fight goes on, I just feel like, you know, I don't think that this is really tough because I don't feel like Themba's like that great striking either. And like or like that great of a wrestler. I just feel like he's athletic enough. And I just feel that, you know, Ramiz has slowed down in almost every fight. The thing that I do feel like is that I do feel like Ramiz is really durable and he's taken ass beatings and lasted in fights. I mean, like the Griffin fight, if his ear doesn't fall off, he's still fighting in that fight. I mean, he was beat to shit. Like his eye was totally swelled up. His eye was black. And then he hits him in the ear and his like ear literally falls off. And then he's like, his ear is like half off and he still isn't like, oh my fucking God, my ear is off. He's like ready to still fight. And then they're like, no, we have to stop this shit. Sorry. So I feel like he's really durable, and I feel like the last fight with Themba, I forgot the guy that he fought. Who is the guy that he fought? Doesn't matter. Like I just feel like he's a glass cannon, and I feel like that was just a good chance for him to knock him out. And but I don't feel like he's like carries that type of power against a durable fighter, and I don't feel like he's got that clean of striking to be able to just continually just rock Ramiz to finish him. So for me, it's Gimbo by decision plus 280. Good live bet spot. You'll probably even get plus 200 or something like that, or plus 170, plus 200 after round 1. I don't hate anybody taking a shot on Ramiz by sub in round 1. I think that's his path, but I think the line is just total dog shit. So yeah, give me Themba by decision.
Yeah. I mean, Ramiz out 26 months, man. That's not good. The other thing that's not good is someone in my Discord put a article about him, and it was like, I'm reading this article. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah, that was me. I put it in there. Yeah.
Not good. No, it was somebody else. Actually, Was it you?
Yeah, it was me.
Maybe it was you. Yeah. So that article does not sit well with me, dude. Those are some really, really bad injuries he had. And then being off so long, thinking about retiring, thinking about, all the things he was saying. It doesn't bode well for him, to be honest. Yeah, can he sub him maybe early? Yeah, because I think Garumba makes some mistakes, but I think he's the hungrier fighter, in my opinion. I think his decision prop is really good at 285. Just because Ramiz is still a dog. He's tough. He's extremely fucking tough. And I'll tell you this. If Timba finishes him, it's in the late rounds and it's by sub. It's not even KO anymore. I think it's a sub, getting this long arms around his neck or something. When this guy's gassed, I just don't think he's going to knock him out. I think this guy's really, really good chin. He's tough as nails. He'll never give up on himself. He's Albanian, so he's similar to a bunch of these tough guys. What's that other guy that just won? Albanian dude. He's extremely tough as well. But yeah, I kind of don't rate Limba's power that much, to be honest, as well. And I think this fight hits the scorecards, but I do think Themba wins these later rounds easily, based off cardio, based off maybe even he can get takedowns here later. So Themba decision plus 285 for me, and we will move on. Co-main event of the night. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 14-3 Chaos Williams versus the 19-5 Carlston Harris. And I got a wild one for this one, Tim. How about if I told you, right? I like fight to end in split decision at plus 700.
Yep.
And I think both guys can finish. Don't get me wrong. Like big time. They're both finishers. But I also think both guys are fucking tough as hell. Like, has Harris been finished? Yeah. But he's not easy to fucking finish, man. We saw it in the Wells fight. This guy is not easy to finish. So, both guys tough as nails. Both guys have good cardio, to be honest. Plus 700 on split. I just feel like it's going to be a close fight. And the line indicates that. So, yeah, give me 700 on the split decision here, Tim.
I think that's a great bet, man. I didn't think about it at all, but it does go with half of what I was thinking on this fight. I had Harris by points and Harris by sub, and I just kept going back and forth just because Chaos typically fights extremely close, but that just goes to what you're saying completely. Like, Chaos is one of those dudes where he usually gets out volumed, but he has moments in rounds that swing him. And that could easily happen in this fight. I'm really interested to see what happens in the clinch. I don't think that like the pure wrestling of Harris is like that great, but the body lock takedowns and the upper body takedowns, like I feel like it's possible that he could trip Chaos in this fight. And this is a to be determined type of thing. Like I don't know what. Chaos historically has had good takedown defense, and he's gotten taken down, I think, 2 times out of 10. But I just don't think that he's fighting good grapplers. At all. Like, I don't think that he's fighting really good wrestlers. I don't feel like he's fighting really good, just grapplers in general. Pereira got him down twice. Pretty simple takedowns, honestly. He just dropped level and then just took him down and laid on him for a little bit. I do feel like if that does happen, if Harris is able to get him down, I do feel like the sub is extremely live. Like in a bunch of different situations, I think that the front choke series is really, really legit for Harris. Like you saw that in the last fight with Wells. Wells is not an easy dude to tap out, and like he's not an easy guy to sub. And dude's like a black belt and just fights against fucking killers. Trains with Brady. Trains with all these guys that just have really, really good chokes, and he put him to sleep. That was a fantastic submission. So to me, I kind of like, I've been flipping a coin on this one. If it's Harris by sub or Harris by points, and I'll take a shot on the Harris by sub, but it's plus 460. But like, I really do like your end split in this. I do think that it is possible that it could be really close. So I think it's a great bet.
All right. We have one more fight to go. 400 people in here. Please smash the like. Appreciate each and every one of you. My voice is gone. I'm freaking dying here. But thank you very, very much again. Guys, if you want to be a part of my Discord, link is down below. It's $25 a month. Well worth it. Trust me when I tell you. Lots of live betting. Even live betting for Bellator today was great. With that being said, let's move on. Main event of the night, and it is in the featherweight division. It is the 24-11 Edson Barbosa versus the 13-0-1 LaRon Murphy. Tim, this one's yours.
Tough fight for me to kind of see what's going on. I don't know where Barbosa is at. He's been getting rocked in almost every fight early, and seems like his durability is going a little bit. He's a lot of his fights, minus the last one against Sadiq, have been finished and haven't gone to decision. But this one, to me, I feel like is, the early rounds for Murphy. I feel like there is a possibility that he could bonk Barbosa early, but I don't know. It just seems like to me that there's a very good chance that both of these guys might, like, Murphy hasn't been 5 rounds. So it's like, what does he do in this fight? Does he come out and go for the kill early, which is, I think is actually a pretty smart way to go in this fight because he could get it. Or does he try to slow down and, fight a smart fight and a point fight against Barbosa, who I think is just a better striker in general? Like, is it possible that, a lot of these fights where Murphy is losing on the feet, he goes for grappling, and he's won some fights like that Coolabao fight he won like that. There's been fights where he hasn't been dominating on the feet, and then he just switches his game. I think he's an all-around pretty solid fighter. I don't think that he's, like a fantastic grappler or anything like that, but I think he's athletic enough to get guys down. But to me, I just think as the fight goes on, the longer the fight goes, I just think it starts to turn to Barbosa's side, and he starts to get his reads. He starts to kick his legs. He starts to have opportunities himself to potentially finish. So similar to the last fight, I think that these 5 rounders a lot of times go split. I mean, a lot of times they're just really close, and end split is 450. Barbosa points is, I think, plus 460. Barbosa by split is 12-1. I think that those are all good shots. Probably take some small sprinkles on all of them and hope he doesn't get knocked out early.
All right. Yeah, I kind of have a similar sentiment, man. I like Barbosa by decision here, plus 500. I think he's more tested to go 5 rounds. I think he's been through a lot more adversity. Watching Murphy, I do think he's skilled, honestly. I think he's got good striking, good grappling. Overall game is good. Has some solid wins. But he's a fighter that kind of fights close as well. I do think maybe he gets takedowns. I just don't think he can control Barbosa much here. I do think Barbosa is going to land the harder shots. I think Barbosa has more power. So it's a matter of what the judges look at. There's probably going to be some takedowns and some close rounds. But Barbosa was almost murdered in round 1 against Yusuf, but somehow survived and came back and won that fight, which is incredible after the beating he took. And that's what I mean. Like, you can't teach heart, adversity, cardio, coming back from a beating like that. Like, you cannot teach that. And Murphy's never been through that. And one guy's been 5 rounds. Has a lot more experience. I would venture to say he's the better striker overall. Like, when it comes to the overall striking game, he's got more power. But the grappling is a bit of a concern. I just don't think Murphy can like push a heavy grappling pace, man. He can't. So Barbosa decision plus 500. Maybe interested in some late round Barbosa as well. Just because the guy can turn it up late somehow, man. And he still musters a lot of power late in fights. So, if you look at him historically, he has a bunch of late round finishes. The guy just has a shit ton of round threes. He had Yusuf on the ropes multiple times late in the fight. Why can't he do it here? My thing is, if he lands those on what he landed on Yusuf, it probably is over against Murphy. Honestly, I don't think like Yusuf is tough as shit. I just don't see that with Murphy. I don't think he's a dog like Yusuf is. So I'm also gonna play for sure round 4 and 5 here. I just think he might be able to cook him. It's big numbers for Barbosa. We're looking at like 25 to 3,000 area. And depending what you look at, I mean, KO 5 for Barbosa is, let's see here, 2,500. Oh, it went down. It was 26. Okay. 2,500. KO 4 is 2,100. Yeah, I just think he could actually cook him in round 4 and 5. All right. All 12 fights done. 431 of you in here. Tim, Lambo parlay time. What do you got cooked up?
Man, I might need your help on this one here. I've been going back and forth between the second leg on this one, or the second fighter that I want to go on, and I think I know what your prediction was on it, but for me, I wanted to do like a round robin on 2 threes. Gado round 2, round 3, definitely for me. And the other ones I was going to go with, but I was saying before on the Yanez fight, like I've been so on the fence on that fucking fight on 2-3 and decision that it's tough for me to put 2-3 in that one. And I do think that Pierre Rodriguez 2-3 are just disgustingly higher lines and higher, but then it's basically 2 women's MMA fights to finish in 2-3. So what do you like more? I know you think probably Pierre about 2-3 than Yanez. No.
I didn't put Pierre. I mean, it could be either. I just think Pierre probably goes to decision more.
I do too. So let's go with the Yanez round 2, round 3, and Gato round 2, round 3. I think I am gonna, maybe stab small, like very, very like $10 bets, because it would get you like 1,600 on 3-3, and they're like really, really wide lines. I think it's between 70 to 1 and 160 to 1 on the Piera. So I'll probably put small bets on those as well, just to see. But I think Gato round 2, round 3, Yanez round 2, round 3, and round robin them.
Mine's Ducati and Gado.
Oh, listen to that. Awesome.
2 WMMA. Yeah. I'm fucking hitting it this week. Vidal, bad gas tank. She's going to get finished. The other one, Demopoulos, she's a punching bag. She's getting finished. Yeah. Let's cash tickets. It's a big number if you hit these. And by the way, Gado, Ducati's 2-3 KO. Gado is just 2-3. That's how I played him.
So you did do a Ducati KO 2-3?
Yes.
Okay.
Give me a bigger number, yeah. I just don't think she's gonna mess around with the submission stuff. She's not stupid, So Ducati 2-3 KO, Gado rounds 2-3. That one, it could go either way. So I didn't want to miss out and say, hey, play sub, and then she knocks her out, or play KO and then she subs her. They're huge numbers. Yeah, that's it, guys. Lambo parlays, all 12 fights. Thank you for joining us today. 426 of you in here. Put a like, put some comments after this video is up on YouTube. Helps algorithms, everything. There's some awesome people in the chat, and then there's there's some bad apples per usual that put stupid stuff up there. But yeah, thank you very much to everybody that's in here. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, see, like this guy. You know what? Let me just ban him. He's a goof. Yeah. I went off track, but I just had to ban that idiot. Thank you very much again to everybody for being in here. Tomorrow we go live, 1 p.m. in my Discord for live betting. Again, thank you very, very much, guys. One last thing to say, Tim. I can't really shout it. Let's cash those tickets for UFC Vegas 92. See y'all tomorrow. Peace and good luck.